G'day and welcome back to Unimig. Today I'm going to give you 9 different tips and tricks on how to improve your plasma cutting, but enough talk, so let's start. Firstly, your earth clamp. Having a good earth connection is vital for plasma cutting. Like welding, plasma cutting machines come with a torch and an earth lead. If your metal is painted or covered in excessive grease, dirt or any other contaminant, you won't get a good ignition, let alone a good cut. So paint must be ground off and surface contaminants must be cleaned in order to achieve a good quality cut with minimal cleanup. Number 2 is cutting distance. Here at Unimig, our plasma cutters all come equipped with pilot arc torches. This means that the tip doesn't have to touch the surface to ignite. You can either drag the torch along the metal or use a standoff guide in order to produce a quality cut with minimal cleanup. Our third tip is amps and travel speed. With plasma cutting, your amps and travel speed must work in harmony to get the best possible cut. Your air pressure also needs to run between 80 and 120 psi depending on the material thickness. Technically, you could run the machine on full amps and adjust your travel speed accordingly. But keep in mind that if you were to do this, that your consumables might last as long as they should because they are subjected to a lot of heat. When you're cutting, the spark should shoot straight down through the material and not to the side or splashing back at you. This is a telltale sign that you are doing something right and that your amps match your travel speed. 4 is sample runs. Before you cut your actual workpiece, it's a good idea to practice on the scrap piece to perfect your travel speed, amp range and air PSI. This will ensure you that your cut will be as smooth as possible with minimal cleanup. At number 5, we've got consumables. One of the main things that can impact the quality of a cut is the consumables. They must be in good condition in order to produce clean cuts with minimal cleanup. So making a habit of checking manually the tip, electrode and shroud is always a good idea. Also, make sure that your consumables can handle the amps. If you're cutting at 80 amps and your consumables are rated for 60 amps, then you will burn through them quicker. So make sure that they are compatible with the machine that you're using. Number 6, dry runs. As well as your sample runs to check your settings, performing a dry run is also recommended. This will give you an idea of how far you'll be able to reach in a continuous cut before you have to stop. Ideally, you'll want to do the whole cut in one run. But if you do need to stop in the middle of a cut, then it's not the end of the world, just start again where you paused. If you end up with a small hole where you restarted, then just fill it in with a tack weld and grind it back. At number 7, we've got perfecting your shape. If you have a steady hand, then freehand cutting irregular shapes is fine. But to perfect those straight lines, feel free to use a straight edge to lean your torch up against while you're cutting to achieve immaculate, dead-on straight lines. Here at Unimig, circle cutting attachments are available for purchase and are essential for cutting perfect circles of any diameter. Our 8th tip is don't start from the middle of the plate. Preferably always start your cut from the edge of the plate. Doing this will result in flawless ignition without sparks splashing back into the tip of the torch, causing blockages. If you do need to start from the middle of the plate, angle your torch 45 degrees, press the trigger and move back to 90 degrees to your plate. This will spray the sparks away from the tip, prolonging its life and keeping it clean. Our 9th and final tip is cleaning. Give your metal a quick clean, making sure there's no burrs or rough spots that the plasma torch can catch on. Also, if you're using a straight edge, be sure to check the surface that you're using for the guide for the same reason. Any bumps or imperfections on the straight edge will transfer to your cut, leaving divots resulting in a rough cut. Thanks for tuning in on our 9 tips on how to improve your plasma cutting. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to like the video and we'll see you next time.